Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's doing very good. I hope quarantine is going well for everyone, and just try to stay positive through this hard time. I know for some people it's harder than not to stay positive just because everything going on, but yeah, just remember to stay positive. We're gonna get through this, and yeah, so let's go ahead and get started into the video. So today I am going to be showing you guys how to do this set right here. Let me see if I could get it to focus, but oops, I turned these nails. But I am going to be showing you guys how to do this seamless ombre and putting caviar beads. I have put some caviar beads and did a little bit of ombre, and I just wanted to show you guys how I achieved this look. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be doing is getting my tips, and I am going to go ahead and prep them. And I'm just going to go ahead and buff all the tips. I'll go ahead and do this off camera just so it doesn't take up too much time on here. You want to make sure these are on there pretty good, just so they're not moving while you're working. Okay, and I'm just going to use OPI's base coat. Please excuse my nails, they probably look a little bit crazy right now. I have been neglecting them since quarantine, or no, for a long time actually, just because of the eczema and stuff that I have on my hands. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the base coat all over all the nails, making sure to cap the free edge. I feel like it would be fun to do a different colored set just because I feel like everybody does the typical pink and white ones, the baby boomer ones. So I kind of wanted to show you guys how I go about doing it with other colors, just because it's not necessarily the same. It's done differently than the other video that I had posted, or the way I like to do it is with different colors is a little bit different. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I capped all of them, so I'm just going to go back and cap all of them. I'm hoping, I've been trying to, so these are going to go into the light for 30 seconds. Okay, so I am going to be getting the Tracy's nail polish. And then I am going to be getting Dollish, and I am going to be getting Get Throwed. And I am just going to get a makeup sponge. So the first one I like to put up at the top. You could do this in any order that you would like. I just like to have the lighter color up at the top. I feel like with nails, you could pretty much do whatever you want. Like whatever you feel like that looks good, just do it. And who knows, maybe it'll become a trend. So yeah, just do what you want. So the key to doing the ombre nails is honestly having a good polish brand. I feel like this brand that I have found, I really do enjoy it. The pigments on here are really great. You guys could actually leave these undone just because we are going to have to dip into them quite a bit. Okay, so next thing that I am going to be doing is just stamping it on there, and then I like to first put, or like kind of angle my wedge a little bit like this first when I first start dabbing on, and then after, once I get a little bit further down to where I want it to blend, that's when I go fully like with the whole sponge. And then once I get to the edge, I start angling it again just so the pink is there, because I don't want to end up going down here and doing that, just because I'm going to end up getting the pink, or like the darker pink, up on the lighter part, and you don't want that, just because you'll end up needing to do like a whole new sponge again. Sorry, I'm trying not to bang that thing in the underneath the paper towel. My dust collector. You could even start from the bottom and work your way up. It's just kind of personal preference, the way I work, of course. But as you can see, like the pigment starts to get on there little by little. And then if by this time you get to this part, if there's not a lot of polish coming off, you could even just use the sides, just because I find myself using the center a lot. So just to make sure I get all of the paint on there. And then work my way up to the top. And there you go. So I'm gonna load my sponge up once again. I feel like it kind of gets repetitive. But the biggest tip that I could give you guys is just to make sure that you're using using good polish. Product is key when it comes to this, just because if you're using bad product, or it could be actually good product too, like there's some good brands out there that aren't as pigmented as this, and they're a good brand, but just when it comes to like their pigment, I don't know what it is, but when you try and ombre it, it's a whole different story. So, and you could always go back to each thing or each one and touch them up if you feel like you scratched them and whatnot. So that's what they look like, the first one. You could tell that they're very see-through still. The nice thing about this is if you guys are doing press-ons, you guys could actually save this sponge. You don't have to keep on reusing different sponges. If you are using this on a client, you're going to want to throw the sponge away. But if you're doing a lot of sets of the press-on nails at once, you're able to use a sponge over and over, just because it's not like polish where the polish gets the sponge all hard. Unless you end up accidentally curing it, then that's when you're going to end up having to get a different sponge. So I'm just going to load up this one again. Another tip that I could give you guys is basically what you want is to get a good quality sponge. I mean, you could get cheap ones that are good quality, but there's sometimes that you get some that for some reason chunks of them, like when you dab them, I don't know why, but chunks of them will come out. So before you try and do this and ruin a whole set, make sure you try it like on yourself or something like that. I have actually found these sponges, and I'll show you the brand of them too, and they're actually dollar store sponges. So it's a cosmetic wedge triangle by Sassy Plus Chic, and then there's 28 that come in here. I had actually wanted to try these because they're all stuck together, and I like that because it comes in a perfect square every time that they come. So if you wanted to stock up on those and have them like really nicely put away, you're able to do that, which I like that just because it makes it feel like as if it's more organized. And so you guys could see that the pigment is starting to work its way up. You want to make sure that you don't forget the tops, just because that's easy to forget, and then you'll end up having to go back and do all of the tops just because it'll be too sheer. And if you guys have a fiber inside of or on any of the nails, I know it sucks having to like go up to it and scrape your product, but make sure you just get rid of it while you can, just because you don't want to end up going back and then seeing it in your polish later. You want them to be as flawless as you can get them. So just make sure any fibers you see, just get them out while you can, just because once you cure them, that's it. Like, they're just going to be stuck in your polish, and you really, really, really don't want that. Like, sometimes, especially like, if you guys know about like being a nail tech, there's glitter everywhere. You'll end up getting a glitter in there, so just take it out while you can. Okay, so this, I'm going to cure it again. So with these, it does have a lot of work that goes into them, but honestly, like the finished product, it is very, very pretty. Even doing them sheer like this, I feel like is really, really pretty. Like even if you wanted to stop here, I feel like, of course, you could. I feel like any style you're able to do, and it comes out really, really nice. So again, making sure you get the top, and keep your sponge angled, especially when you're on more of the solid color than the other. I was thinking about doing a video of comparing all the ombres, just because, like in timing, just to see how long it would take to do one nail of ombre, and then like one nail of doing the actual acrylic, just because I know some people, they're all about time management. So, like just, I would like to see how long it would take me start to finish doing each nail. Of course, like with doing it this way, it kind of varies, just because since you're doing all of them at once, that's kind of a plus, just because you're able to save time by doing them all at once and then curing them. Then with the acrylic, you'll be able to do one, but then you cure once. But this one, you have to cure a lot of or a few times. So it seems like with this you use a lot of product, but honestly you don't. You want to make sure you get those sidewalls. Don't forget those. And then if you are doing these on a client and not on press-on nails, you're going to go ahead and want to clean up their cuticles every time you do this. Unless you have like a pink acrylic under there, then you won't really even have to do the pink at the top. Okay, so I feel like it's going to need a little bit more paint. Okay, you guys, you can see that it's already all coming together. So the timing of this honestly isn't that bad. It's just a little, like sometimes it could get a little bit repetitive. So far we're only 20 minutes in, or it's gonna be 20 minutes in, but that is not bad at all. So using great products, that's something that you guys will really benefit from, just because it'll be quicker for you. I feel like once you guys invest in your guys' product, honestly, it makes such a big difference. Like you invest in products that you like, it'll make you quicker, and you're able to get, even if you're working on clients, you're able to get more clients in. Another thing that is, when you're doing these nails, you don't want to put the sponge down in a dirty place. Like if you have a clean paper towel, make sure you put your sponge down on there and not on like a dusty surface, just because once you go and put the sponge back on the nail, you're going to get all that dust that collects on here on your sets, and you really, really don't want that. I've done it before where I've been working hard on a set, and then after I'm like dabbing, going to the next one, dabbing, and by the third one, I notice that there's glitter and lint and stuff all over the place, and it's not a good look. So just try to avoid that as much as possible. Another tip that I could give you guys about, or like getting an idea for these looks, is I like to get my colors and pair them up. So say if I wanted this to be the nude, I like to go through each one and find which colors look good. So these were the colors that I chose, this one and this one right here, and that's how I did it, is like I'll just put them up against each other and see what I like and what looks appealing to my eye, and then after I'll go from there when I'm looking for colors to match together. That's why I like my colors to be on my swatches like they are, just because if they're not, you're not able to see them like that. So I really enjoy having them on there. I think that could benefit every nail stylist, just because you're able to have your swatches out and everybody could see exactly what they look like. These nail swatches, I did get these from Skyline Nails. I don't know if they have them online, but I know for sure in store that they have them. And then they come, I think they're 10 in a pack for $10, which isn't bad at all, just because I had some other ones that I had bought and they were a lot more expensive than these, and they only came 3 in a pack. So yeah, check out Skyline Nails. They're out in LA, and I find some of my stuff there like once I go out to LA. Another tip that I can give you guys is to make sure that your ombres, they're all at the same level, because you don't want one to be higher than the other ones. You want them to all pretty much be equal, just because it might look a little bit funny if you have one that's like the pink is so high up. You don't want that. Alright, so I'm very happy with the way they turned out. The color is very close to one another, so I'm happy with how they look. The next thing that I am going to be doing is I'm actually going to be using this Mia Secret Ultra Finish Gel. So before, if you guys followed me for a while, you guys know that this one is pretty much my all-time favorite, the Youngnails Ultimate Finish Gel. But I mean, this UV Finish Gel, the Ultra Shine from Mia Secret, this one was actually really good too, and I've been liking it a lot. This is the first time in a while that I switched my top coat. The other polish, or the other top coat from Youngnails, that one I do like, just because it is, it's a thicker top coat, so I like that. But this one, it is a thinner top coat, and I do like that. But I do end up finding myself doing at least 2 coats of them on here. And then even with this one, you could let it self-level. So for a long time, I had been only doing matte nails. But honestly, I feel like I'm starting to get back into glossy nails. I really, really like the way these nails had came out. So it makes me kind of like inspired to do a lot more glossy nails. So let me know what you guys think about that, if I should do more glossy nails, just because I know I've been stuck on the matte nails for some time now. Okay, so that gel, it is going to be 30 seconds, so we'll let that cure for the 30 seconds. I've also been thinking about doing my nail desk over again. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while now. So hopefully I'll be able to organize and get everything the way I want it to be exactly. But it's just been hard to trying to find a system that will work for me. Okay, I am going to put another top coat. I love how smooth that this top coat makes everything look. So before you cure, always make sure you look at all of the nails first before you cure, and make sure they look exactly how you want them to look after they're done curing. Just because sometimes I notice with some polishes that they'll be streaky at the end. Like, I don't know if you could tell with this one right here, but at the tip it doesn't look right to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go over it again. You see that looks way better. So there it is. Okay, and now to this part. We are going to be doing the stones next. And the ones that I am going to be using are these teardrop ones. They're pretty large. I'm gonna get one out from there. And then these stones, I don't know the sizes, but this is like a decent size for stones. I usually carry 3 sizes in these stones, but I want to start carrying more sizes in the different kinds of stones, just because I feel like it, with doing designs, it's kind of, it is important to do that. I like to make sure that my stones are organized to where, like, when I'm putting them on, they're the size that match. So that's how I have them. And then I want to make sure that their containers match also, just because if not, once you go and put them away, accidents do happen, and it's likely that you'll end up putting these in the wrong container and you'll end up mixing up all your sizes, and you don't want to do that. I like putting them in the caps just because it's easier for me to grab. So the resin that I am using is from Montage Nails. The nail down right here for reference. So when I came up with this pattern, it was just to, I don't know, just kind of like, because I've been wanting to use these stones a lot more. And so then that's when I ended up deciding how I was going to do it. And I feel like lately, every time I've been using them, I kind of just come up with the same design, and that kind of bothers me, is because I'm just like getting stuck on one thing. So I wanted to pull them out once again and try new things. So I want to make sure that, oops, I like to use tweezers for the big ones, but I like to make sure that they're at the same level with one another. Okay, so, and then I'm going to be using this instead of the okay, so now I am going to be doing the edge, and I'm going to get the large stone that I have. A thing that I like to do to see if the stones that I am going to be using that they are working for me is, like, I'll place it there without gluing it, just to make sure that I like it. I know some people, they have a hard time with choosing stone placement, and that's something that I also have trouble with, just because once I do end up doing it, I end up kind of getting stuck in the same bubble where I'm like just doing the same style. So that's kind of a plus about doing these press-on nails, is that I'm actually able to step out of the box and try different things and take my time with them and just do different things. So that's something that I like, and I also love my clients that, like, they let me do whatever on their nails, just because it makes me able to try different things that I've been wanting to try. Sometimes I get nervous to try things on some of my clients, just because I want them to walk out liking their nails and stuff. So sometimes that's the hard thing too, is I know that, like, none of my clients will ever leave unsatisfied, but it's like myself being satisfied. And especially if I have somebody booked after, I don't really have time to mess up and start over. If I didn't have someone after, then I think that would be okay with me to try something, because I could always take it off and do something else. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my smallest stone and I am going to put them right here. I really like the way this nail head came out just because it looked like, okay, so I'm gonna use this really quick. Sorry, I know I'm getting off topic quite a bit, but I wanna show you guys exactly what I'm doing. So, and I put a little bit of glue on here. And this is still going to be the resin. So I'm going to put it along here. And then I am going to put the rest along here. So for a while I didn't know how to use these caviar beads, or not necessarily not know how to use them, but it was kind of more or less like how to place them without them leaving. That was kind of a big thing for me, but I ended up figuring out how to place them on and what to do to make them stay. Because before I thought you just kind of throw them on there and call it a day, but you don't do that. You have to put the glue on in between them or over them. So that was something that I learned that I did not know, and I wish I would have, just because I really, really like the caviar beads. I feel like they add more of an elegant look to them, or I mean to your artwork. So if you guys are doing the caviar beads, if I were you, I would not put the resin on the tip of your thing, but just because then after it makes it harder to get them off, and sometimes you'll accidentally glue them to your sticks or like to the edge of this, so you don't really want to do that. You could have like I have acetone right next to me, and so I dip it into the liquid and then I pick up the beads like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some more glue. And dab it there. Okay, and then now I'm just gonna get this again, and then I'm gonna put glue on it. I'm just gonna paint it on my brush, and then after I'm gonna go over the tops of these. And you're just gonna wanna make sure that you don't get the glue on top of your stones, because if you do, you'll end up messing up the stone, and the shine won't be as bright. All right, so the next one that we are going to be doing is this one right here. And then I'm gonna get the largest stone. I'm gonna get 2 large stones, so I could go ahead and put the 2 dots on there. I mean the 2 stones, not dots. Sorry, you guys. Okay, and then I am going to get a medium stone and a small stone. Okay, and you're gonna wanna make sure that these are straight once you put them on, just because sometimes it's easy to look at them a certain way and then feel, or like they're not in like the exact place that they need to be. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and put some glue at the tip of here, run it along each side of the stones. All right, you guys, so that is the final look. So this did end up, the time to put the caviar beads and everything on and to paint and all that, it did take 36 minutes and 41 seconds. So I'm sure if you guys have an airbrush, the airbrush will be a quicker way of doing this. But this was just the way I like to do it. It just depends on you and your preference. So in the morning, I'll go ahead and show you guys what the nails ended up looking like, just because I want to show you guys in sunlight. So I'll go ahead and get that clip and insert it for you. Alright, you guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video today, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and as usual, I'll be back with more videos. Please, 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 you guys, don't forget to like it, just because it does help with the YouTube algorithm, and it will help me go ahead and put out more content for you guys that are wanting to learn more nail videos. Alright, so thank you, have a great day, bye-bye.